What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Ep.7 podcast, and we're in the almost October edition. Sorry, I almost messed it up there. And guys, I am just so excited to talk about just October in general, as you guys can probably tell, because I am making I'm making an October themed podcast in September. That is just how much I love October. I finished up my schoolwork because we had to do online because this whole thing that's going around. I don't even think I need to explain it. I think everybody kind of is up to date with it. But yeah, I just got done with my homework, and I don't know why something came up to me that just made me really nostalgic, and which is one of the main reasons why I am so excited for October and why I love it so much is because it makes me so nostalgic. And I just thought it'd be a good idea for this podcast episode to talk about some nostalgia, or just talk about October in general and why I am excited. The day I'm recording this is September 17th, so yeah, so we're pretty close to October, but I just can't. I'm just so excited for it, obviously. And yeah, I wanted this to be a good podcast episode, so I jotted down some talking points just so I can stay in it, because I have seen that a few times when I do podcasts. I kind of sit there and I just say a bunch of ums and long pauses because I'm trying to think of what to talk about. But this should be a good podcast episode because I kind of have everything written down. So yeah, guys, stay tuned and just watch this whole podcast because I'm putting a lot of work into this, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. This is just how excited I am, where I actually put work into it. I'm kidding, guys, but I actually really did put work into this, and I do put work into a lot of my videos. But I'm just so excited about this one, and I've said excited about 100 times already. That's just how excited I am. So, as you guys can probably tell, we got a new introduction song for the Ep.7 podcast. I hope you guys like it. I really love it. I just love it so much. I don't know. It reminds me of I don't know what it reminds me of, but it reminds me of some sort of song that they would play in Nickelodeon during October. I don't know. That's kind of random, but that's kind of what I think of. So yeah. So basically, one of my points I want to talk about is why I'm excited about October, even though it's September. I think I kind of already said this, but one of the main things that makes me so excited about October is just so much nostalgia is in October from, watching movies as a kid and just experiences in general. So yeah, so we're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about on this podcast. So hopefully it's a good amount of time. We have a good length podcast. So that's what I meant to say. So yeah, guys, if you're watching, stay tuned for the whole thing, 'cause I really think you're going to like this one. I'm actually going to edit some stuff in the podcast, which I don't usually do because I usually just sit down and talk. But that's kind of what I'm doing. But I'm going to do a little bit of editing in this, and I'm really excited for this. My next bullet point is talk about nostalgia, and like I said, nostalgia. I don't know. I've just been getting a nostalgia about a bunch of stuff. Mostly holidays, because I don't know why, because I think we're kind of going into the holiday season where we have Thanksgiving, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, stuff like that. We're kind of getting into that season, and I know there are long gaps between those holidays, but I like to just think this is kind of holiday season, because after that you just have a long gap of months where nothing really happens, and that's kind of the boring times. Which that's not good. But anyways, there's some shows that I wanted to talk about. Just like I said, we're gonna talk about mainly not just nostalgia, but a lot of nostalgia. I've said nostalgia a lot, but yeah. So I jotted down some things that I remember from my childhood that I want to talk about. And basically, if you guys don't know, because you probably need to know what nostalgia means to understand this, because I've obviously said it a lot. Basically, nostalgia is kind of memories, memories from your childhood that you remember early on. I'm 15 now, and like I can remember stuff from like I don't know I was 5 or 6, and that just brings back memories, and that's what nostalgia is. It just makes you feel good, brings back good memories. So yeah, so I like I said, I jotted some different stuff that I'm nostalgia about, and we're gonna talk about it. So let's go ahead and talk about the first one. Okay, guys, the first thing we're gonna be talking about is Scooby Doo and the Goblin King. Now, this is it's kind of it's a very weird like episode, I guess. I see. Okay, so there's like so many different like renditions of Scooby Doo, like Scooby Doo, Where Are You? I don't know the names of the other ones. Like there's a let's just say there's an older one. I wouldn't say a sort of old one and like a newer one, and I'm just gonna say the newer ones suck. Like I don't like I don't know. I don't watch it still. Scooby Doo, I don't watch it still, but whenever I did, I think I watched Scooby Doo Where Are You, which is I mean generally old. It's not that old, but it's older, and I think it's better. I'm not sure if it is Scooby Doo Where Are You. But anyways, this movie I had it in my house. It was on a VHS tape. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't know if it was VHS, but I'm pretty sure it was. But this I don't know. This I think it's a movie, or yeah, I think it's a movie. It just brings back so much memories. I can't. I like it's nostalgia for me is one of those things where I don't remember everything from it, but there's just a few things that I remember. Basically, whenever I think of this, I think of like there's like a ghost train, and that's what I think of. And then obviously there's goblin things, but this is just an all around great episode or movie, whatever it is. That I think everybody should watch, and I'm like in the future I'm gonna make my kids watch this. This is just a great movie, whatever, in general. And yeah, that's my first thing that I'm really nostalgic about, the Scooby Doo Goblin King. And as you're gonna see with a lot of these movies or shows, is that these are a lot of them are before my time, and I'm really glad that my parents exposed me to these older movies, because I think they're just so much better than like the newer stuff. And yeah, so that's the first one. And let's go ahead and go on to our second one. Alright guys, so next thing we're going to be talking, or next like show or something I'm nostalgic about. It's funny, I'm trying to like not say nostalgic as much as I am, but like I don't know, I just don't have any words for it. I don't know. Anyways, but the next thing is Mickey Mouse. It's like an episode called The Lonesome Ghosts, or just A Lonesome Ghost. And like I said, a lot of these like shows that I'm nostalgic about are before my time. And yeah, I'm just really glad that my parents showed me this stuff, because it's like I said, I really think these older shows are a lot better in a lot of ways, because nowadays, without being too political, a lot of shows like try to stray away from a bunch of different subjects because they think it's too offensive. But I really love the old Mickey Mouse cartoons, like with, as you can see in this picture, Mickey walking around with a shotgun. That's cool. And like, because I don't know, I feel like shows today are sort of dull. I mean, they don't. Not every show. Obviously, not every show needs like guns or whatever. But like, I don't think that like they should stray away from it. But anyways, the main thing I remember from this cartoon is these three ghosts right here. I don't. If you watch the cartoon, you can watch it for free online. There's like a Disney website. You can go back and look at those. And I don't know. I just really like how they recorded the videos, like recorded the voices. For the voices of like the ghosts, they use like, it sounds like they were recording through like something metal that echoes, and I don't know what, but it was really cool. But yeah, this show is, I don't know, it like I'm trying to think of words that aren't nostalgic, but it's nostalgic. Yeah. So basically, what happens is these are like, the name of the show or episode is Lonesome Ghosts. These ghosts are in a house, and they're just kind of bored, and because nobody's coming around the house anymore that they can scare, so they're like so one comes with an idea. They see in a newspaper that's called, it says the Ghost Hunters. So as you can see in this picture that they're on the phone, they call them up and basically say, you know, we need you to come to my house. And of course, the Ghost Hunters are Mickey Mouse, Daffy, no, yeah, Daffy Duck. Not, oh wow, sorry, I haven't watched cartoons in a while. Not Daffy Duck, but Donald Duck and oh wow, what is his name? I can't remember the dog. Why can I not remember his name? I know what it is. But anyways, yeah, this show is just really nostalgic to me, and I feel like anybody should, so just go watch this if you never watched it. It's a great show. So yeah, let's go ahead and go on to our third one, which this one is not actually a show, but instead a book. And I feel like a lot of people know this book and like are nostalgic about it as well. And especially people that I know that have gone to like my elementary school, you've probably seen this. Most likely you've seen this. But yeah, let's go on to our third nostalgic thing, I guess. Yeah, let's go. Alright guys, this next one is like a children's book series. I think the original one is like, there was an old lady who swallowed a fly or something. But this one especially I'm more nostalgic about because I don't know, I feel like I have more memories, or I don't know, things that remind me of my childhood from October. There's just something about October and Halloween that it just, I don't know, it gives me a feeling of, I don't know, this just gives you a certain feeling, kind of like every holiday. I feel like every holiday gives you like a certain feeling, but that you can't describe. It's just a good feeling in general. But yeah, so this one is like about like this lady. I don't honestly remember it. I'm gonna need to go back and see if I can find this book. I don't even know where I'm going to like find this book, but I need to go and try to find it because just this book alone gives me a lot of nostalgia. And yeah, this is like a series book where like it's an old lady swallows like a bunch of different stuff, and it's kind of like, it reminds me of like other books. Right, just talking about this book right now reminds me of a lot of different books that I read or that remind me of my childhood that I feel like a lot of other people have read as well, like Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus, Skippy John Jones. Just those come to my head right now. And yeah, so like if you haven't seen these, like come on now, you gotta read these. These are great books. So yeah, these are like the things that I felt like nostalgia about, and I'm probably gonna talk more about nostalgia, but yeah, this book is great. All right, guys, there are a few more things that make me nostalgic. Okay, there's just so much things that make me nostalgic. I bet you guys can guess that, you know, out of how many times I've said the word. But yeah, I just kind of remembered about these like a few days ago, actually. It's an old learning website that I bet you that a lot of people, I guess, in my area or that went to elementary school with me most definitely remember. It's a website called ABC. And it's like it was a learning game. I think it was like from pre-K to like 4th grade or something like that. But yeah, it's also awesome. Like in computer class in elementary school, I remember using those big old, like, I don't know, like they're like these computers with like the big old like towers or whatever you call them. I'm not really that much of a computer person, but yeah. And in the class, we like learned stuff about like typing and how to use presentations and stuff. But anyways, a lot of times we'd like play games and stuff, or we're supposed to play games, but in the website ABC, it's mostly learning games. There's a lot of like learning games that I remember, like Math Man. It's supposed to be a ripoff of like Pac-Man, but with math. But yeah, but since we're talking about October, there is a few games that just remind me, and try not to say the word, but they gave me nostalgia. And yeah, I have a clip of the game, and I'll show you right now. Alright, so there's this game on ABC called Trick or Treat, and I used to play this all the time, even if it wasn't October, but I used to play this because I just thought it was the most fun game. It's called Trick or Treat, and basically what you try to do is pick the quickest route. And I remember, it's crazy because when I was a kid, I just remember not being able to get past round 5. and I played it a couple times, and I must have been a really dumb kid because I could not get past level 5, and not in this clip, but I played around with it a little bit, and I got past level 5 really easily. But so right here I'm gonna lose, and yeah, I just wanted to show you guys what it was lose, because just the audio alone is also like brings back a bunch of memories. I just love this game, just everything about it. I remember playing this in computer class, and oh my word, it's just a great game. And yeah, so there's one other game on ABC. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of other like October games, or just games in general on ABC that gave me a ton of nostalgia. But we're talking about October here, so let's go ahead and go to our next game. Okay, this next game, obviously, as you can see at the top of your screen, it's called Pumpkin Carving. This one is especially fun because basically you just carve a pumpkin. You can do like anything. Yeah, it's just such a fun game. Like, I don't know why. Like, I played around, like, obviously I recorded this clip and I was playing around with it a little bit, and I I don't know, I just played around for like a few seconds. I mean, it is a fun game, but back whenever I was in elementary school, I like thought this game was the best of all time. It was I just thought it was such a great game, and it is a great game. I can see why I liked it, but yeah, I'm carving a pumpkin right now and gave it a little Anthony Davis unibrow. And yeah, I restarted it for some reason because, you know, I didn't do good enough on that one. But yeah, I just remember playing this game for like the whole class periods alone. I think here I'm making a more like traditional pumpkin, I guess. So yeah, I'm adding the little pumpkin teeth thing. I don't know. I haven't carved a pumpkin in so long, and that's kind of sad. I want to do it so bad. But yeah, you know, we gotta give him that Anthony Davis unibrow right there. Looks a little mad in this one. If you're just listening to it, you don't have any context, but I'm showing a clip of me playing the game right now. So you click on this, you go to nighttime, and it says Happy Halloween, which is just that alone brings me back. And this game is just especially nostalgic to me. And yeah, I love this game so much. Yeah, that's it for that one. Alright guys, another thing I want to talk about that has to do with October, obviously, because, you know, that's kind of the running theme of this. Obviously, because it says October edition, or almost October edition. Yeah, we're doing this in September. That's how excited I am. But I want to talk a little bit. I talked about this a little bit on my last podcast, but I just want to talk about it again. World of Fun Halloween Haunt. I just like, oh my gosh, I think I've been going there since I was 6 or something, and I don't know why my parents, like, I don't think it's not a very good environment for a 6-year-old, but I'm actually so glad that they brought me there, because it was so scary. It's I think almost every park in the United States does this during October. Basically, if you don't know what it is, they have like scare actors, people dressed up like scaring you around the park. They have haunted houses and stuff. And obviously, when I was 6, I did not go through any of the haunted houses because I was a wimp. But yeah, I remember it was such a weird feeling when it came around that time where my parents was like, "Okay, we're going to Halloween. We're going to Worlds of Fun Halloween Haunt." It was such a weird feeling. It was like my feelings were conflicted in a way. I guess you could say that, but. I was just, in a way, I was dreading it a lot, even though that I was secretly super excited about it because I just, like, love it so much. But I think it scared me so much, but there was something about it that I loved so much also. Obviously, I was 6 years old. I don't think I would be, like, mature enough to, like, actually handle, like, all this stuff. And obviously, like I said, we didn't go through haunted houses or anything, but there's still people dressed up scaring you, walking around the park. And just what kind of makes me sad is they changed it a whole lot over the past few years. Now it's not nearly as scary as it used to be when I used to go down as a kid. And maybe that might just be because I grew up and, you know, not as scared anymore. But I really do think that they dulled it down a bit. Especially there's this area called Carnival. And it was like clowns and like these big costumes, like, and these masks and stuff, and they were like the scariest thing. And I bet, cause it was such a long time ago, I don't know how I would feel if I saw them today, but I bet you if I went there like today, I would still find them pretty scary. But unfortunately, I think that after in 2016, after the whole clown thing about the killer clown thing, I think that's why they stopped doing it. Sadly, because after the 26 after 20 or during the 2016 October thing, well, I don't know, but they just took away the clown stuff, and it's not nearly as scary as it used to be. Uh, but yeah, oh my gosh, just going I just remember so much. I would just be such a wimp when I was going there. I mean, obviously, I was like really young, so I mean, I kind of see why. But now I go with my friends all the time. I bought season passes this year. But sadly, obviously, because this whole pandemic thing, they canceled it, and I'm obviously not happy because, like, oh my gosh, I love Halloween Haunt so much. I go with my friends all the time. We go through all the haunted houses because when I was a kid, I saw the haunted houses, but obviously I was scared, so I wasn't gonna go through any haunted houses. But now I go, excuse me, I go through the haunted houses with my friends all the time. I went through all of them. I love them now. Haunted houses are so fun. What I love is I still get like scared. Yeah, I still get scared obviously because they're like they're like adult haunted houses. They're like they're meant to scare you, not just to be like a small fright, not made for kids or whatever. They're like actual genuine scary haunted houses, which are really fun. And one of my favorite feelings is the first during October, the first night of me going to Halloween Haunt. That's my favorite time. Whenever I'm waiting in line, it gets my heart racing so much. But then after I do that first one, I'm fine. I really miss the feeling of being scared. I know that's kind of a weird thing, but I really miss being a kid and going to Halloween Haunt and just being scared out of my mind. Obviously, like I said, I think they toned it down. I don't know if they did, but I think they did. Or it's just I grew up, like I said. But nowadays, I'll go there and not really get scared. I'll obviously get like jump scared and scared because haunted houses and stuff. But just walking around the park doesn't give me the same feeling anymore. Now I enjoy going through haunted houses, so my heart's not racing because I'm scared. Like I'm not like, oh my word, I'm so scared I'm gonna die or whatever. In the haunted house. But now I'm just so excited to go through the haunted house. And I love that I actually can go through the haunted houses now. I'm not just a wimp. But I do really miss the feeling of just being genuinely scared. Or just the feeling of going through a haunted house for the first time. I do remember the first time that I went through a haunted house. And that was at Worlds of Fun Halloween Haunt. I went with my good buddy Andrew. His channel is Unaware Zombie. It's Unaware Zombie, I think. I can't remember. He has a newer name, I think. I don't know. But, yeah, I went with him for the first time, and the first haunted house that we went through was this one called, oh, wow. It's called Cornstalkers. I thought I forgot it for a second. But it's called Cornstalkers. It was awesome. It's basically you're, like, going through a cornfield, and they didn't have like a cornfield, so they like put like fake corn stalks. And I think they did a really good job making you feel like you're in a cornfield. It was really cool. But yeah, I remember going through cornstalkers, and basically it's hard to explain because there's no like backstory or anything. It's just you're walking through a cornfield and people scare you. But I just love it because the way you get scared in it is so cool because like they have parts like where there's like people that look like scarecrows sitting there, and you don't know if they're real or they're fake because sometimes there's like things that are hanging there that are fake, but sometimes there's actually people which you're not expecting. And one of my favorite things as well is just going through the haunted house and getting scared by the dumbest stuff. Like, for example, like if you turn around the corner and you just see like some weird like object hanging in front of you, like it scares me, but even though like it's not supposed to scare me, it's just kind of there. I think that those experiences are really fun. But yeah, I think that's the first time we went through the haunted house. I was probably really annoying because I think back then the way I coped with like going through haunted houses, because I wasn't used to it obviously because it was my first time. The way I coped with it was like talking, and I was probably really annoying. Like whenever somebody scared me, I'm like, you didn't scare me, or I'll try to be funny. And looking back on it, it's one of those things that you look back on it and you just kind of cringe because I probably said some dumb stuff that I thought was funny, but it wasn't funny. I definitely probably did. But yeah, it was just so awesome. I wish I could go back to that experience so bad. But yeah, there is yeah, just like I said, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. We're not talking about Halloween Haunt anymore. Actually, let's actually do that a little bit more because I'm kind of hyped up about the subject, and I do want this to be a good length podcast. So I want it to like actually be somewhat close to an hour, maybe not an hour, but somewhat close to an hour. But so yeah, I think it would be a good idea to talk about different haunted houses at Worlds of Fun and going I guess going through them for the first time, if I can remember it. I do remember, so the night that me and my friend Andrew went through my first haunted house, we also went to another one after that. But it kind of sucked because I really got into haunted houses, but then we only had time to, go through one more because the park was closing, and the reason being that we only got two is because like it took both of us so much time to just get psyched up to do it, to actually like go through the haunted houses. But once we did, obviously it was awesome, and I wish I could have just done it more soon because I want to go through more. But nowadays, like when we go, obviously I'm not as scared anymore. So like they open the haunted houses at like 8 or something, and it's usually still sort of light outside. I think, I'm not sure, or just maybe 6. I don't know. But nowadays, me and my friends jump in the haunted house lines like before they even open, because the lines there are huge and take so long. So we kind of just want to get in there before it gets too long, obviously, because that we don't want to wait. And yeah, so yeah, after I went through the first haunted house, the Cornstalkers, we went through a haunted house called Zombie High. This one was it. If you've been to Worlds of Fun, it's in the area back where Prowler is. It's kind of in a weird area, but you might see it. It's the building where the haunted house is up year round, and and it still says Zombie High on the sign outside. Even if like I went during the summertime, they would still have that sign up that says Zombie High because that building's just there. But yeah, it's in that back area. We went through it. It's pretty good. I would say it's probably one of the more tame haunted houses, but back then I thought it was just the coolest thing, obviously, because when you do something for the first time, it's kind of like riding a roller coaster for the first time. You just can't stop talking about it after it because you're so excited that you did it. And yeah, so you go in, and it's obviously Zombie High School. It's like supposed to look like a high school, and they did a pretty good job looking at it. Like, you go through different rooms that are kind of themed like a high school. Like, you go through like a band room, a cafeteria, just different classrooms. It's really cool. But it's really cool. I really like the atmosphere of it because they play like rock music because it's supposed to be like it's supposed to be like a homecoming like dance or something. And one of the last rooms that you go through before you leave is like this big gym. Like, it's supposed to be a gymnasium, and they're just blasting rock music, which is awesome. You can hear that rock music throughout the whole haunted house, but that area is where you hear it the most, and it's awesome. They have like strobe lights going, and it's weird because they could have put so much more scary stuff in that area, but they didn't. But it's still cool. And then the very last room that you go through is a jockstrap room. You're walking through the locker rooms, and it's like if you go through there, just like if you're epileptic, don't go through there because the last room is like purely just jockstraps and strobe lights, and it's awesome. And they could have done a lot with it. They could have had like cool scares, but it's kind of weird because you just walk through like that room. It's just strobe lights, and nothing really happens. You get scared like one time, but it's not a whole lot. They could have done. Basically, what I'm saying is they could have done a lot with that haunted house that they didn't do. But I'm still glad that we're able to like have something like that to go to during October, obviously because like I love it how much I'm talking about it. And one of the other things that makes me so nostalgic about Halloween Haunt is just the music. So usually when you go to a theme park in the daytime, they're like playing like some soft music, kind of like not too loud at all, but during Halloween Haunt, they have music blasting, like it's really loud, like it's so loud. They probably turn it all the way up, and they play like it. I don't know. Yeah, I'd say like creepy, scary music. Sometimes they'll play like rock music, but like scary music, and it's just I don't know, just that is just awesome. One of my favorite memories, also, whenever I think of music, is me and my good buddy Joseph when we went in one year. We went into the we got into the park maybe like a little maybe like an hour after it started, and just walking, because the entrance was empty because everybody was in the park, right? And I remember just walking down this path, and I mean, if you've been in the Worlds of Fun, you know what I'm talking about. You walk through like a path to get to the entrance gate, and you could just hear scary music blasting in the background, and that was back whenever I used to be like scared, and like that would like, oh my word, that would pump my adrenaline so much. Um, and basically like it was weird. Like I was so scared of this stuff, but like it was made me so interested. So like when we were walking around the park, you would see like obviously scary people or whatever, people dressed up. I would like be scared of them, obviously, excuse me, but I would like just like stare at them because I was so interested. Like I don't know, I would like basically what I mean is like I will ask so much questions. I want to do research. I want there to be like a story to that person. I want to know what that person's about. Like I was kind of that person. But yeah, anyways, back to, I kind of got sidetracked about the music, but back to yeah, another thing like the music. Sorry, I got sidetracked again. Is the fog. So they have a bunch of fog machines in there, and it makes the park so cool because it's just so foggy. I mean, after like a few hours of it being open, those fog machines running for so long, it looks so cool because it's just so foggy, and like all the lights are just, I don't know, like if you go to a concert, you could tell that they like have fog machines, and they usually have it because it makes the lights look cooler. But yeah, you know what I mean in a way. I don't know, but if you know what I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. But yeah, they have like the fog going, and one of the coolest things is like whenever you leave the park, looking back at Worlds of Fun, you can just see all that fog in the air, and it looks so cool. But anyways, yeah, I got sidetracked like again, but let's go back to what I was saying about the haunted houses. So talked about Cornstalkers, talked about Zombie High. I don't honestly remember what haunted house I went after, so I'll just kind of talk about the different haunted houses that they have. One of my favorite haunted houses that they had was called Lore of the Vampire. It's one of their biggest haunted houses, right? I don't mean, yeah, I think it's probably, it seems like the one that they put the most budget into, because it's cool backstory, because the haunted house is where one of the old rides called the Orient Express used to be, and you can tell because it's cool because like you're walking around the station, but you can't even tell. And so like on a roller coaster where there's a gap obviously where the track is, and the train comes in, you get on it, and then it like just a gap where the track is where the train comes through, right? You could tell you're in a train station, where you're in a station where the roller coaster used to be, because you'd go through you go over bridges every once in a while, and you just see this big gap, and you could tell that's where the track used to be, which is really cool history, I think. But yeah, this haunted house was like so big. It was 2 stories, which is pretty cool. And this one, like I said, I think they put the most budget into because there was like animatronics and stuff. That's something that you don't usually see at any of their other haunted houses. Like it was like animatronics and stuff. I don't know. It was so cool. But I'm spending a lot of time on this, and there's other things I want to talk about. So I'm gonna kind of go quick through my other haunted houses. One of my other favorite haunted houses was Blood on the Bayou, which is supposed to be like in New Orleans. I don't know, like maybe voodoo magic, some scary thing. I don't know, but it's so cool. One of the main things I remember about it is it's still open. I mean, obviously, Worlds of Fun is not doing Halloween Haunt this year, sadly, but it's yeah, I went through it this past year and it was awesome. Because they at the end of it they have this big alligator thing. It's huge. I don't know. It's cool. It's hard to explain. But anyways, it's like you're going through the swamps of New Orleans. There's just so much fog. It does look like you're going through swamps. It's pretty cool. I don't know. It's just such a great. It's a weird one, and I really think I like the vibe of like the New Orleans theme thing. I don't know. But anyways, let's go on to the next one. One of my other ones that I like is it's called I call it Jack the Ripper, but I think it's like, yeah, it's called London Terror, and it's basically a theme to Jack the Ripper. It's cool. Like, it's in like a house that looks like a old like, I don't know, that the time period that the Ripper was in, like the old London theme. Like, that's it. It was one of the shorter haunted houses, but it really packed a punch. It was awesome. But yeah, I do remember like at the end there's this part where this like lady, this torso just comes falling down from the ceiling, and like it's just the loudest screech noise. And that's probably one of the biggest scares that I've gotten out of any of these haunted houses. Another haunted house, yeah, it's called the Slaughterhouse, and it's really awesome because basically I don't think it's kind of easy to explain. It's basically a slaughterhouse. That's it. And like you go through, there's people like pig like masks on. I don't know. It sounds dumb, but it's really cool. Another one of my favorites. Not that scary, but it's just one of those ones that the environment is just so cool. I feel like I'm forgetting about one. Oh yes, there's one called Chaos Unleashed, which this one was probably one of the least scariest ones least scary ones there, but just the effects of it. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But it was kind of like, it reminded me, how I would explain it is like hypnosis, and not hypnosis. I don't know. It's so hard to explain. Oh my word, you just gotta look it up. I don't think I can talk about this one a whole lot because it's just so difficult to explain. Like this, I don't know. But there is one thing that I remember from last year that's really cool. They have this one room where you walk in and this dude's in there like in. You have to go through a quote-unquote maze, but what it is really, you feel like you're going through a maze for hours, but really what it is this guy has a wall, basically, that every time you go in, he turns it so that it, like, blocks you off and brings you around, and it's so, like, mind-boggling, because it makes you feel like you're like, I've been here before, like, it's just basically taking you in a circle, and you're like, wait, I've been here before, and yeah, it was so cool, but yeah, I think that's it. I think I might be missing one, but I'm trying not to miss one. I think we got them all. So let's go on to the next subject. This next one I have a picture for, and I'm really excited to talk to you guys about this one because this one brings back a lot of memories as well. Me and my friends, we used to all be neighbors, but I moved away a few years ago, which kind of sad. I miss them. They're awesome. Anyways, what we used to do is we took inspiration from Halloween Haunt at Worlds of Fun, and we did this in my driveway. Basically, what we did is we got a speaker out there. We played scary music. We dressed up in like scary costumes. And basically, what we did is my parents would like give out candy and stuff, but we would like be in my driveway and scare kids as they came up to the door, and it was awesome. Like we do stuff like. One of my friends brought like a knee pad. Yeah, he brought a knee pad, or not a knee pad, but a blow. I don't know why I said knee pad, but a blowhorn that like you like blow at people, which is super loud. I think it was air horn. I don't remember what it's called, but like one year I did like a cool. I don't know. I just had something and banged it on the ground next to people. Here I have a picture of us that I want to show you guys real quick. So here it is. Alright, yeah, so this is the picture of us, me and my friends, on what we used to do. This is 2 years of what we did. If I'm not mistaken, I think the one at the top, the one that's black and white. Now, obviously, I'm not old enough to have, to be in, black and white photos, but it was just a filter. I feel like I didn't need to say that, but I just said it anyways. But anyways, we're going to focus on the top one first, the top photo first, the one that's in black and white. So the first kid, the kid in the ninja costume. That he didn't do the scaring with us. He actually was one of my neighbor's brothers, and he's just kind of there, took the picture with us, but he didn't do the scaring with us. But yeah, so he wasn't there. But the next guy next to him is the dude in the jester costume. That's my good friend Joseph. Yeah, he was in that cool little skull jester thing. Yeah, I just have memories of us like scaring people. It was just so much fun. Uh, and then next was me in that like that clown masks. I don't know because I think that was a year that I think this might have been in 2016. This was like whenever like the whole killer clown thing was happening. So I kind of thought it'd be a good idea to do that because I think that'd be more scary. But basically, I had that dumb looking tie on, and basically what I was wearing is a Michael Myers jumpsuit from like a few Halloweens ago. Like whenever I dressed up as Michael Myers one Halloween, and I kept like the jumpsuit and the mask. And so what I did is I just wore the jumpsuit, and then I had that like dumb looking tie that it can't. I think we bought it at like a Halloween store, obviously, because I'm not gonna have a tie like that. But yeah, we had that tie. That mask was kind of cheap. It was pretty cool. I mean, it's not the scariest looking mask, but I think it was pretty cool. And I used Freddy Krueger knife hands, which I thought, I mean, that doesn't really fit the whole clown perspective thing, but it was still pretty cool. And then next to me, I have one of my good friends, Max, one of my neighbors, and you can't see him because he's not looking at the camera, but he's an alien, and he has like a cool like executioner's like axe that he's holding, and he was pretty cool. And like usually when you think of aliens, you don't think of like that they're scary, but they were pretty cool looking. He was pretty cool looking. And then there next to Max is my friend Ryan. Obviously he wasn't really dressed to the occasion, I guess you could say. He Yeah, he's dressed up as an old man. Yeah, he wanted to be funny, which that was kind of weird because like we were all planning on doing this whole scary thing together, but he dressed up as an old man. So yeah, that was kind of weird. But I think we went trick or treating with each other for like a little bit. Then we came back to my house and like scared people. But yeah, that was pretty fun. So now this next year, I think this next year was pretty cool. And one of the things I'm kind of sad about is that year. Like it seemed like there was nobody trick or treating. Like I don't know, it was just really. I remember me and my friend Max, the one in the white shirt, we literally just like sat in a driveway just waiting for people to come because like nobody was trick or treating for some reason, and like that kind of sucked. But yeah, so let's go ahead and look at the costumes. So the first dude in like the neon mask, that's my good friend Ryan, which Ryan is the kid that was wearing the old man costume in the top picture. But yeah, so Ryan's in the like neon mask, and that mask is from The Purge, which I think that movie came out that year or something. So yeah, he's a purger. I think he has like a baseball bat or something like that. Yeah. So there's not really a lot more I could say to describe Ryan, but yeah, that was a cool costume. Next to Ryan is my good friend Joseph, which Joseph was the little jester skull dude at the top, in the top picture. But yeah, Joseph's holding a big old knife machete thing. He doesn't have his mask on right now, but he had like a cool Joker mask. If you're like a Batman fan or whatever, there was like, there's this comic where like Joker basically like cuts off his face and like puts it back on, which does make Joker look really scary. So it did look pretty scary. He doesn't have the mask on right now, but he looked pretty cool. He has like a straight jacket to look like he's insane or something. And yeah, yeah, that was really fun that year. And then next to Joseph is my neighbor's Max. He has just a bloody shirt. Yeah. Oh yeah, this year, the year that we did that was we did it at Max's house, which like I said, we're neighbors, so he was literally next door. And I remember his dad was really nice. He that year his dad put up like a fence thing for us to hide behind, like scare people, which is pretty cool. And what Max would do, like I think he was like a zombie. I think he just has a bunch of blood on his shirt, but yeah, he would like hide behind the fence and pop out and scare people, which is pretty cool. And then next to Max is uh, Joseph's brother Drew, which Drew wasn't in the first picture, but yeah. So he's Joseph's brother. He's Joseph's older brother, so he's not the one that was in the ninja costume in the top photo, but he's Joseph's older brother, and he's like obviously he's wearing a Scream mask from the movie Scream, or a ghost face mask from the movie Scream, and yeah, that's all I can really say to describe that. But next to him was me, obviously. This is probably one of my most favorite years. I think this is like the scariest looking costume that I ever had for us to do this thing. And now I think we did this like maybe like 4 or 3 years for Halloween, which is it was pretty fun. But yeah, this is my favorite year. I had that cool clown mask. That clown mask was actually pretty expensive. We went to Spirit Halloween and bought that. And you can't really see very well, but I'm holding a crowbar, like yeah, big old no, it's not a crowbar, but it's like a big old socket wrench. That's what it is. Yeah, it's a cool socket wrench that I would like smack on the ground and make a lot of noise to scare people. That one was my favorite year of all time, like I said, because that got the best reactions out of people. Because I feel like almost everybody, or just a lot of people, have a big fear of clowns. So that's why I wanted to do that. And that mask, just that mask alone, I still have it. It's just such an awesome mask. But yeah, it was really sweaty. I remember like I would hide behind a tree and run out. I love that costume because it's the scariest costume that I've ever had, and just that costume alone, like a lot of times I'll just stand in the driveway and stare at people like creepily, and that would work. That would scare them alone, and it was awesome. We had a few times that like, every once in a while there'd be like those like really little kids that you like can't do anything to, even no matter how much you do want to do it to scare them. So yeah, but that year it was kind of depressing because not a lot of people came, but we still had fun while we could. I couldn't tell you how frustrated I was that not a lot of people were there at Halloween. I probably like complained about it for like weeks after that because I was like so upset because I was really excited about my like costume and everything. But yeah, so I think one of the years that we did it at my house, we bought a fog machine, which is really cool. I just loved it so much because I mean it's a fog machine. It's so cool. Yeah, we used the fog machine. We'd have music playing, and yeah, these are just awesome memories. Now, we only have 2 pictures of us. We did this a couple more years, but I think we had different costumes. Like I think one year I was a vampire. It was pretty cool. I had like vampire teeth, and I had like makeup stuff on me. It looked cool. It was like, I don't know, I had like bloody, like made my mouth look bloody, and I had like white face paint and like black eyes or whatever. Yeah, and it was pretty fun. And I think Drew, that one of the years, he had like a granny mask, which is kind of weird. He would literally have like a grandma mask, but like with a hood on, which was kind of weirdly scary. But yeah, it was like I said, that was an awesome year, a great memory from back in the day, and I wish we could still do it today, but we could still do it today. But I don't know, we're just too old, I guess, so we just don't do that a lot anymore. Okay, yeah, just talking about that again, like, oh my word, that makes the nostalgia even like stronger, I guess. Um, but yeah, oh my word, that was so fun to do with my friends. That was just such a great memory. But anyways, I think we're kind of done with the nostalgia thing. Probably not. I'm probably gonna say nostalgia again, or maybe a couple more 100 times. But yeah, so we're nearing the end. So yeah, that's pretty. It's not over, but yeah, we're kind of close to the end. But one of the things I want to talk about is just why I love October. I put that down as a bullet point, and I feel like I kind of said this at the beginning of the podcast, but like I said, holidays kind of give you that, like, it just gives you a weird feeling that you just can't describe, right? Especially as a kid, like, you had that feeling, I guess, but, like, looking, like, okay, as a kid, Christmas was my favorite holiday, um, obviously, because I feel like that as a kid, that's every kid's favorite holiday, because you get presents and stuff, but I think now that I'm, like, a little bit older, I think I still love Christmas, but I would say that Halloween is my favorite holiday, just for like nostalgia alone. Just like that just shows you how strong that is. Nostalgia is, because like, oh my word, it just gives me memories every year. And next I wanted to talk about kind of what I was planning to do for this October. Um, because obviously, this whole thing is going on, which kind of, it really, not kind of, but it really sucks, because it canceled Halloween Haunt at Worlds of Fun, which is one of my most favorite things to do in October. I'm really sad that we can't do that this year. But I don't know why they didn't do that, because they still like have, it's open today. Like, anyways, I'm not gonna get on a subject. I'm not gonna get on that subject, because that's kind of a whole different story. I don't know. It's kind of annoying. But it's kind of hard, because what I'm gonna because I don't, 'cause a lot of stuff is canceled. And I really don't ever see Halloween getting canceled this year. And even if it does, I don't care. If they say, like, oh, stay in your houses, oh, dude, nobody will. I don't care. I'm not going to follow that. Nobody will. We're going, like last year, me and my friends went trick-or-treating for a little bit, just for, like, I don't know, just to have fun. And then we, like, trick-or-treated for, like, about a few hours and just kind of just walked around and talked. And that was just it was actually a really good Halloween. I really liked it, because we were just talking all the time, I don't know, it was awesome. But what I'm planning on doing this October is, like I said, since we don't have, a lot of stuff is closed. I'm probably gonna have my friends come over a lot and like just watch scary movies, because I think that's just fun, or just try to hang out as much as we can. I think this Halloween I want to do what I did last year. And last year, it was just me and, like I said, 2 other friends, which is not a lot. And I think sometimes having not as much people is more fun, because a lot of times whenever we have like a big group of people, it's kind of annoying, because you can't really talk when you want to, because you're always getting interrupted by other people. And I think it's just better to have like less people in a way. But yeah, it's yeah, we're just gonna watch scary movies like throughout October, and on Halloween we're probably just gonna hang out. I don't really know quite yet, because just so much stuff is happening in the world right now that it sucks. But let's try to be positive and not talk about it as much. But let's talk about a little bit of what the future is gonna, or what future podcasts are gonna be like. So since I covered so much this podcast, or I guess because there's such a long podcast, I've covered a lot of stuff I want to talk about. But basically, for like October podcasts, I thought a big idea for like each podcast we could talk about movies, or like stuff going on, or just stuff. So if you guys have any movies that you want me to talk about, or like sort of review, drop it down in the comments below, because I definitely will do that. We'll just do those kind of podcasts. I think that'd be fun during October to do, like, October themed, Halloween themed podcasts. That'd be really fun. So yeah, I think I wanted to end this off with one last thing. I talk about this a lot. I don't know if I do, but I feel like I do. But I talk about scary movies a whole lot, right? And like I kind of talked about, I kind of touched on this when we were talking about Worlds of Fun. When I was a kid, I watched horror movies now, but when I was a kid, I absolutely did not want to watch horror movies. I remember as a kid, my parents making me watch Night of the Living Dead, which is like the OG zombie movie, and that movie wasn't really that scary, but just as a kid, that was like just such a scary movie. I could not watch it. I went to my room and just like played with Legos because I was scared. And I remember them like making me watch It, like the original It. That one scared me to death. But it's weird because looking back at it, like at the original, it's not that scary at all. I don't know why it got me that scared. But yeah, like and nowadays I watched the new It, like the one in It 1 and 2, and they're pretty good movies, but they're not scary to me that much. But yeah, I used to be really interested in scary movies. I used to like look up facts and stuff about scary movies, but I would never do that. It kind of reminds me of like with roller coasters, right? As a kid, I used to be scared of roller coasters, as every kid is when they're first starting. And I was so interested in them. I watched so much YouTube videos, like POVs and just about roller coasters in general. And then I finally came up with enough courage to just ride a roller coaster. And my first roller coaster was Wildfire at Solar City. But anyways, that's another subject. But I think this isn't the first scary movie I've watched, because I think I've watched when I was younger. I've watched other scary movies, but they weren't like necessarily scary, I guess you could say. I saw like a ton of like parts of scary movies because my mom, like especially during October, my parents would watch scary movies a lot and like have it on in the living room. One of the movies I remember seeing and actually getting some sort of courage to sort of watch, like I didn't really watch it, I just kind of glanced at it for like a few, like 30 minutes and just went away, was Halloween 5. And that movie's pretty bad, but I remember just watching that movie and I was like, oh my word, this is so cool. And I was just like so interested in it. And I might be wrong because it's such a long time ago, but I think the first time I really watched scary movies was one time I had my friend come over and we literally just watched scary movies just all night. We watched the first one we watched, I think. Yeah, we watched Hellfest, which is a great horror movie. It's not really that scary, but it's about like an event like Halloween Haunt, right? At Worlds of Fun, but like because people like work there, they like dress up and scare people. But it's about like one of the workers that dresses up, like kills people, which is a pretty good movie. The other movie we watched was The Purge. I think we watched 2 Purges. I think The Purge was pretty good. We watched the first one. I think we watched another movie. I could be wrong, but yeah. But then after that, we watched the OG Halloween, which I'm always gonna be reminded about the first time I watched the OG Halloween. Now, obviously, everybody's seen like old clips of like the old Halloween, but like I've never actually seen it because it's such an iconic movie. Especially that score by the name of the director is slipping my mind, but I'm not. It's fine. But just that movie alone, it's just such a great movie. I can watch it like right now. It's not necessarily scary, but it's just interesting. I don't know. I feel like everybody should see it. It's a great horror movie. It's like a good introductory horror movie because it was made in the 70s, right? So it wasn't really like, horror movies weren't really as scary as they are today. And horror movies today are a whole different subject, but like I don't know, they're kind of controversial today because a lot of horror movies are just based on jump scares and stuff and aren't actually really scary. But anyways, that's on a different subject that we can talk about that, like I said, in other podcasts this October, which that's what I'm really excited about. But I think we watched the original Halloween. We watched Halloween 2. John what's his name? I can't remember the director. I can't remember John Carver. I don't know. Shoot, any other time if you ask me the director of Halloween movies, I would say right off the bat John Carpenter. Yes. Okay, yeah, John Carpenter. Yeah, the score by John Carpenter in the first movie is so great. But yeah, so we watched the first Halloween movie, which is the classic, awesome. Obviously, the classics are always good. The second Halloween movie by John Carpenter, which was awesome as well. It's a pretty good movie. And then the other movies are like different. Now, we didn't watch Halloween 3 because if you didn't know, Halloween 3 actually doesn't have Michael Myers in it. It's about like it's a weird story about like masks, that like a company that makes masks that kills people. The reason they made a movie like that is because they wanted to make like Halloween, like the name, into a franchise where they tell like different stories, right? Each movie, but obviously that didn't work because whenever they saw Halloween 3, they thought Michael Myers, but there's no Michael Myers in that. But then they went back to Michael Myers again. But it's sort of like whenever you went back in Halloween 3, that's whenever it started to go downhill. One of the main things I don't like about the newer, or not the newer, but the, sequels, I guess. Halloween 2 was good, but like Halloween 4, like each movie they'd have a different Michael Myers mask. And I think each movie it got dumber looking and dumber looking. I don't know why they didn't just go with the old mask. Maybe they couldn't recreate that very well. I don't know what it was, but yeah, the night that me and my friend watched scary movies, we watched, Halloween 1, 2, 4, right? Because obviously not 3 because I didn't have Michael Myers. We watched 4, 5, and I think 6. I don't remember the names of them, but I just kind of remember there's one of the Halloweens that just really stands out to me for just being so stupid. I don't know. He's like, I don't know. Just the mask alone is really dumb. I don't know the name, but like if you're into horror movies, just like the one where like he like stabs somebody in the back with like a pitchfork. I don't know. Let's not get into that. But so yeah, that's kind of like when I started watching scary movies, and I still didn't watch paranormal movies because to me, those movies are so scary, and I cannot watch those. But I can watch movies with slashers, which slasher movies are basically just movies where people like kill people with like knives or just kill people, like people killing people, right? But I think when it gets like super scary to me is like the paranormal stuff, like The Conjuring. And when I first watched movies like The Conjuring, was just recently actually. Before school started this year, me and my friends, like started a Discord, and it kind of grew a little bit. So every night we'd get on Discord. Obviously it's summertime, no school, didn't have to worry about anything getting up. Oh my word, I missed that. But every night we would, because on Discord one person can share their screen, and like we all watch a movie together, and we just kind of talk while we're watching the movie. And yeah, that's the first time I got into like paranormal movies, which I think are the scariest. The first movie we watched was Sinister. Sinister. Oh my word, we watched Sinister 1 and 2 in the same night, and oh my goodness, Sinister is probably like one of the scariest movies that I have like ever seen, and I think it has like one of the biggest jump scares out of any horror movie that I've ever seen, which was a part like where this, it's a recording of somebody, just a lawnmower going forward, and it's like this scene goes on for like maybe 30 seconds, right? And all of a sudden there's like a head, and then it just makes this loud noise, and man, to this day, even if I know it's coming, it just scares the crap out of me. Yeah, so Sinister was a good movie. It's a great movie. Sinister 2 was pretty good as well. After that, we watched another one of the most scary movies that I've probably ever seen, which was The Conjuring. Oh my gosh. Because I was just sort of just being introduced into paranormal movies like that, and just jumping in The Conjuring, which I still think is the scariest movie that I've seen to this day. Yeah, that was pretty scary. Especially, I don't know, there's just so much stuff that happens in the movie that scared the crap out of me. I really recommend The Sinister or Conjuring. Those movies are so good. Conjuring 2 was not as good. I mean, Conjuring 2 was pretty good, but it did have a flaw. I think it was too long of a movie, and I don't think the setting was as good, because in the original Conjuring, you were in like this kind of farm. It wasn't like a farmhouse, but it's kind of like, you know what I mean, farmhouse sort of. I like the setting of that. It was really scary with that basement. And I think if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. The basement scene where she like falls through the floor. I don't know. So much stuff happens in Conjuring 2 or Conjuring 1 that's so scary. The second one was a little less scary because it sounded like a smaller house. Conjuring 2 was a great movie still, but it was 2 hours long, which to me that's a bit too long, and it kind of dragged it out in some parts. But I still think it was such a great movie. Really recommend it. And yeah, that's. I'm trying to think off the top of my head some other movies that we watched. Like we watched Lights Out, which was a pretty good movie. Basically the plot was if like there's this monster that it's like can strive in the dark or whatever, but if you turn on the light, it'll like hurt it or something. It can only be in the dark. I don't know. Great movie. I really recommend all these movies. And another movie that's not paranormal that I just got reminded of that I really think everybody should watch. It's a great movie. It's a new Halloween that just came out in 2018. That movie is incredible. Everybody should see it. But yeah, so yeah, I think that's where we should wrap it up. This has been a great podcast, probably one of my longest, I think. I don't know if it's my longest, but I'm really glad that I did this. This is probably one of my favorite podcasts that I've done, and I'm so glad that you guys, if you're here from the end, you guys are the greatest. Go ahead and drop that like button. Comment if you made it to the end, and if you have any movies that you want me to talk about in the future during October, comment it down below, and I will do that. It's going to be so awesome. I'll do some reviews. If there's any movies you want me to, if you want to recommend for me to watch and talk about in a podcast, do it. That'd be awesome. Any ideas, comment down below. Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining this podcast. I really loved recording it. It was so much fun to just talk about this and reminisce on all this stuff. And I'm going to say nostalgia one more time because I just said it so many times. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. And this is Ep.7 with the almost Halloween edition in September version of the podcast. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video or podcast. And yeah, it's great talking, and thanks for listening. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.